So if you're a fearful avoidant, you might relate to this concept or idea that it can be really hard to settle into a relationship. In fact, if you look at the 6 stages of relationships and how they tend to affect fearful avoidance, you'll see that generally you do very well in the dating stage because you're your best self. You don't have all these fears yet because you haven't deeply attached to somebody. Then in the honeymoon stage, maybe you start to feel some of those wounds and fears and triggers come online in a relationship. It's not too strong yet. And then in the power struggle stage, you find yourself maybe being in absolute chaos in the relationship. And so oftentimes, fearful avoidants don't make it out of the power struggle stage and into the preceding stages, the stability, commitment, and bliss stage, which is really the honeymoon stage of a relationship, but where you deeply know somebody and they deeply know and understand you. And you've moved the needle from infatuation-based love more into unconditionally based love because you've shown yourself without so many conditions. So fearful avoidants often have this difficulty getting into a space where they can settle into a relationship. And we're going to talk about the 5 major reasons why this tends to take place. So the very first one that is extremely important is that fearful avoidants have a subconscious comfort zone of chaos. What does that actually mean? Well, generally, you may find yourself going into relationships, and when people show up in a secure or healthy way, you may find yourself feeling like this is boring or uninteresting. And that may sound crazy at face value, but here's what's actually happening. Your conscious mind is responsible for roughly 3 to 5% of all of your beliefs and thoughts and emotions and actions, while your subconscious and unconscious mind collectively are responsible for roughly 95 to 97%. And so if you get conditioned in a way, and remember your conditioning is really what makes up all of that wiring in your subconscious mind, if you get conditioned to be in a place where you feel like love is chaos, relationships are chaos, your whole childhood and early developmental years are chaos, then that is what we keep wanting to go back to. And the reason being is that your subconscious is ultimately survival oriented. It says what's familiar is safe and thus we will survive. And as a result of this, you will likely find that you are attracted to chaotic relationships because it's what's most familiar. So while your conscious mind may analyze it and say, I don't know about this. This isn't healthy. I see some red flags with this person. Your subconscious mind may filter or tune out those red flags and keep investing in these chaotic relationships with chaotic people. In fact, you may even sabotage non-chaotic relationships because, as I mentioned earlier, you find them boring or uninteresting because you're seeking the thrill and that somewhat addictive familiarity of chaos itself, until you learn to regulate your nervous system, which, by the way, is one of the 6 key pillars we talk about on this channel for how to become securely attached, how to actually recondition your attachment style and do that work. But that's a topic for another time. So that first big piece is that subconscious comfort zone of chaos. Okay. Number 2, here's a huge piece, is that often you'll find yourself in a one-way connection in relationships long term. What do I mean? Well, I mean that generally in the early stage of a relationship, you'll infatuate with somebody. You might see traits that you find really attractive or needs that the person meets for you that you're like, wow, this is, I feel really wanted or important or cared for, or this person challenges me, or we have fun or novelty. I mean, you'll have these things that you like at the beginning. But then over time, fearful avoidants put up their walls. Once there's a real attachment, you often get afraid. And as a result of this, when you're in fear, you're not communicating vulnerably. You're not opening up in a relationship dynamic. And what this does is it creates this context where you feel like your job is to be what the other person expects of you, but not actually communicate what you need from that other person if there's a discrepancy or an issue or a challenge. And this sets the stage for one-way connections in relationships. This literally sets the stage for you to feel like you're pouring into somebody else and not getting anything back. One-way connections are not going to help you truly fall in love or settle into a relationship long-term. No, they're actually, which brings me to point number 3, going to burn you out. And you probably find that you have a history of relationship burnout, be it from friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships, where you just feel like, wait, I am trying so hard. And maybe even having thoughts like, wait, does this other person even care? And a lot of what happens here, and I think this is so important to acknowledge and recognize if you are a fearful avoidant, is that you are excellent. One of your powers, your superpowers, is to read between the lines and be hypervigilant about what other people need or want or are feeling or expecting from you. And so it makes you amazing at showing up for those things. But not everybody else is wired that way, specifically not people of other attachment styles. So this sets the stage for you to feel like, wait, I'm really good at guessing what they need. Why aren't people guessing what I need? Do they not care? And then from there, you are likely to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, annoyed by relationship connections because you're just feeling like, wait, this is too much. I'm giving and not receiving. And that ultimately is going to just simply burn you out. Now, we have two more really important things here, but I just want to let you know if you want to do a deeper dive into the fearful avoidant attachment style in the 6 stages of relationships, how to heal, how to move through those different stages so your relationships don't hit that glass ceiling and get stuck at one of those stages. We actually have a course you can check out fully for free for a limited time. We actually have a promotion going on where you can spin to even win a full free membership to PDS. You can actually check that out fully for free for a limited time. And it's all about how to really make it through to those preceding stages of relationships and make sure that you can settle in. Okay, this brings me to point number 4. Number 4 is that you will never settle into a relationship. And I'm sorry, because this is the cold, hard truth. You will never settle into a relationship until you learn how to build trust. Trust is built by you actually communicating your truth with people, your needs, your boundaries, showing up and having those conversations and weeding out the people who don't listen. And then bringing in closer and working through things with other people who do. And if you say, hey, that was a boundary for me, I didn't feel comfortable in that situation, and somebody turns around and they show up and they're mindful of that boundary in the future, that's such an important way to build trust. If somebody literally ignores you and just violates the boundary anyways, well, then they probably don't belong in the place that you're going to keep investing in relationships. Maybe time to take a step back. And same thing with your needs. If you tell somebody what you're looking for in a relationship, what you need, and they rise to the occasion and they show up and they're mindful and they make an effort for those things, we have a winner. But if people just disregard your needs and don't seem to care or make much of an effort at all, that tells you a lot about where somebody stands in your life. So it is extremely important to make sure that you are actually communicating your needs, your boundaries, and your emotions. And when you don't, people pleasing blocks love. Okay. If you are constantly people pleasing, then you're probably going to find yourself actually not feeling loved or connected because you're not giving people the information they actually need to take you into consideration. And then they're going to keep violating your boundaries or not knowing what you need and not showing up for it. And you're going to feel defeated. Okay. So that's a really important thing. Last but not least, fearful avoidant attachment styles have a hard time settling into a long-term relationship, not just because they end up in one-way connections or easily burn out, not just because they end up investing in the subconscious comfort zone of chaos or fear vulnerability and don't show up and speak about their needs, but also because you often don't vet well at the beginning of relationships, meaning you might not be choosing right. And one of the biggest ways that we end up choosing people is we choose people that treat us the way that we treat ourselves. And so if you're a fearful avoidant and you find yourself going from relationship to relationship where people just are showing up in chaotic ways, and you're like, why do I keep choosing this person I need to save or fix? Or why do I keep choosing somebody who's not available to invest in a relationship? Or why do I keep choosing people who aren't mindful of my boundaries or overwhelm me? I mean, if you have any of these patterns, you need to take a look from a shadow work perspective at where do I do these things to myself first? Where do I violate my own boundaries to please others? Where do I take advantage of myself to please other people? Where am I not emotionally available to myself because I'm so busy caretaking for everybody else? You need to look at what patterns you pick in others, how that reflects back to you, what your comfort zone is, and then plug into working on those things that will change your subconscious comfort zone and what you invest in, and will definitely make you pick healthier, more securely attached people who are going to want to move through the different stages of relationships with you and where you will find significantly more fulfillment. If you're somebody who's truly interested in helping others while also securing financial freedom for your future, there is a limited time option to join our 50% off certified relationship coach program. And this is a 12-week program where you can create financial freedom, work from anywhere in the world, and truly make an impact on other individuals' lives by becoming a certified relationship coach in just 12 weeks. Throughout this entire 12 weeks, you will learn all of the tools that you need to discover somebody's attachment style and help them heal and change their attachment style if they are insecurely attached so that they can become secure and build the best relationships of their life. On top of that, you'll learn all about the subconscious mind and how to actually rewire our painful limiting beliefs, our painful behavioral patterns, and help your clients learn their relationship needs, as well as the needs of their loved ones. You'll also learn how to build a thriving coaching practice and set yourself up for long-term success. You'll learn all of the business tips and tools you need to build funnels, leverage marketing strategies, and really thrive in the marketplace. Even if you have absolutely no coaching experience, this certification will give you everything you need starting from scratch to become a thriving relationship coach. You can find more using the link down below. So that's it for today. Don't forget to check out that free link down below where you may be able to win a free membership to PDS or check out any of the other exciting offers that we have going on. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you want more videos like this. And thank you so much for stopping by and for watching.